Hello.
Hello. Hello, world. How are you?
You know, it's kind of funny to be doing this on a on a podcast because we've done these conversations for years on the phone, you know.
Yes, 100%. And I want to welcome everybody. This is A1 1A podcast of, I think we're going to call it Gen X Lab. We may call it Generational Lab or Gen Lab. I just heard a sound. Did you hear that? Did you do something? Anyway, we can cut that out. Are you frozen? Okay. Anyway, I just want to welcome everybody. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but my name's Darren. That's Greg. We used to live together for 5 years. We used to go to high school together, and we're still in communication with each other for I don't know how many years. I really don't know. We need to figure that out. But anyway, Greg came up with this idea for a podcast to just throw ideas and thoughts and scenarios out there and maybe talk to different age groups and kind of see how they react. So this is the very beginning, and we've never done this before. So welcome.
Yeah, and I kind of always had this idea, even when we were living together years ago. I thought, you can just ask me. You don't need to do a study. You can just ask me. I'm a cross section of the American people, and I, I realized pretty quickly after your 20s that that's a ridiculous statement. And so to be, we'll throw ideas out there, we'll throw topics out there, and each week we'll invite a guest to from a different generation, and we'll get their thoughts and ideas on those same topics, and go through some stories that we've been through, and things that are going on in modern day, and see how it comes out.
So anyway, what Greg and I thought we would do is on the very first one, introduce ourselves, kind of tell our backgrounds, what we've kind of been through. So that's what this is going to be. Greg says we're going to have guests. We may have a guest. We may have four guests. Um, I say the more the merrier if we can put it together. It's really going to be a timing thing for a lot of people, I think. But anyway, Greg, why don't you kind of start off with you? You're the grandpappy of this thing. It's your idea. So why don't you go for it?
Yeah, well, I'm Greg Tunnel, and we've, like I said, we've been friends for quite a long time. We always have some crazy, kooky ideas. We talk about things, you know, that are fun and interesting, and we've been out a few times. Did I lose the recording?
I don't know.
That was
No,
weird.
it's clicking. It's three. Yeah, it's moving.
Yeah, yeah. So we've been out a few times. A few. Uh, I don't know how many a few is. My wife would say a few is three or four. So maybe it's more than that. But uh, no. Yes.
I was going to say that's fair. A few to me is 2 to 3 or 4, and several is 7 or more.
So when I first met Mariana, I would say a couple, and she would say, and I would say, and so I said I knew a couple of girls from the dance place that we met, country dance place, and then we came back to that place, and every person in the place came up to say hello, and she said a couple is two. So yeah, those definitions, I guess they're meaningful as far as what a couple and a few is.
She was a little worried about you being a regular, maybe.
She was, yes. So, yeah, and I did go almost Thursdays, but so but back to the story. You and I go back a long way, and we've like had some good times. I think we're both pretty opinionated. We both have some idea about everything that comes up. Pretty conversational as far as being in a group setting and so forth. So I'm hoping that if nothing else, we just chronicle some of the conversations that we've had over the years, and we just put those down so that we can enjoy them with our friends and guests and anyone who's interested in just doing life with us.
Awesome. Do you want to talk about your background at all, or who cares?
Yeah, so thanks for the question. I grew up an accountant and then decided that was not I grew up in a small town, small country towns across Texas. Uh, Became an accountant, moved all over the world, traveled all over the world, been to, lived in Richmond and Jamaica and Florida and Texas and traveled to many places, seen all of the tennis opens. I love tennis, and I've seen all the four majors. So, but yeah, then I decided that accounting was a little monotonous and moved into operations. Now we own a couple of businesses, and just uh, having a good time here in Texas. What about
Uh,
you?
well, honestly, I really didn't know you turned your back on accounting. I mean, I know that about you. I know you got your CPA, and I know that was your journey, and that's a huge deal, huge deal. Um, Honestly, I feel like a lot of the people from where we came from and grew up with, a lot of them became CPAs because of you, right? I lost you.
There were a few, but I think I still do a lot of accounting. It's just that I don't. It's not my main gig anymore.
That's fair. That's interesting to hear you say that.
So, and you
Um,
you grew up in accounting too, right? Accountant.
I don't know about that. Pinching pennies and looking for loose change in the looking for loose change. I just heard a sound. Is it still going? Yeah. Sorry about that. We're learning the technology here. You have to bear with us. Maybe it becomes a comedy because we're trying to figure out if it's even
Yeah,
recording us. So yeah, the accounting that I've done growing up is looking for spare change in the couch so I could go to the movie theater. That's my kind of accounting.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm from California originally. Moved to Texas when I was like 11. Um, just kind of bummed around. I was like a drama major in school, photography minor, as you can tell. I absolutely got no work out of that. Are you hearing that
yes.
bell? What is that?
Oh no, I don't hear a bell. It's
It's like
probably something. I think it was sending some
da-da.
messages.
Huh. Okay.
Oh yeah, I do hear that. I doubt that will be in. It's probably just a transfer from you to me.
Hmm. I don't think
Here
it's
it says,
that,
"What
but
was that?" Let me check what that is.
yeah, just let's figure it out. I don't have my glasses on, so anyway, yeah, I moved to Texas and bumped around, and I went to a little college there in the town. Actually, it's well known now because of the Netflix smash hit Cheer, Navarra College, and actually, um, she was a cheerleader at Corsicana High School. The lady that's a big star in that show, the coach, um, and Greg, you and I don't know if you even realize this, but we knew every single girl on the cheer squad that she was on in high school except her. Like every other girl from that cheer squad from Corsicana High School um, hung out with the girls from Walmart when we worked at Walmart. But I never knew. I think her name's Jessica. I don't know her name. I don't know her, but I know everybody else. Um, so that was interesting. I find that the one girl that ends up being a big deal, we don't know, and everybody else, pretty typical.
Yeah,
So anyway, Corsicana, and then bumped around. I was a bartender for 6 years. I worked as a court runner in downtown Dallas. Met a girl in Dallas I couldn't get off my mind and moved to her hometown in small town Louisiana, where the biggest deal in that town is the water tower. So I don't really understand that, but everybody's like, oh, it's like the postcard shot of that town. And that's my story. And now, actually, a year ago, I moved to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I'm a empty nester now. So moved up here. I like the climate. They have a Jason's Deli. Like a friend of mine said, "What? Why are you moving up there? What is it about up there?" I was like, "I'm looking for better weather, uh, better roads, uh, baseball. A town that has baseball. So there's a college here with baseball, and there's a minor league club here, Kansas City Royal Double A team, and a Jason's Deli. That's all I'm really looking for out of life. And so I found it.
Jason's Deli, huh?
Jason's Deli is pretty good, man. If you live without one, you recognize the importance of one.
So, we used to go to Jason's Deli on Sundays on occasion
100%.
after church. But after COVID, during COVID, it was not a thing because they have a buffet, right?
Right.
So after COVID, it seemed like they were missing some of those components that made it desirable, I suppose, for the family.
Well, that's all
Maybe
back
it's all
now.
back to normal. Yeah.
It's all back now. And honestly, I'd be just as happy with a plain Jane potato as I am the salad bar. So
So
either
interestingly
way.
enough, I became allergic to potatoes during. I had COVID once, and then the second time I got COVID, I became allergic to potatoes and tomatoes and such. So yeah, I haven't had a potato in 2 years, which
That's
I
crazy.
miss.
A French
Yeah.
fry, nothing.
No, not a French fry. I miss French fries for sure.
So let me ask you. So if you eat a potato, what happens?
I just get little bumps here and there on my
Is it
skin.
do
Some
you do you,
it's
do you do you desire it so bad? You're like, you know what? I'm gonna live with the bumps because I really want a plain Jane, let's say. Or no,
that
you're just
I
out.
don't do it for a plain Jane or for potato, but I do on occasion have a slice of pizza.
What's wrong with pizza?
Tomatoes.
So okay, so you didn't say that. You said, well, you said a potato. You're allergic
Potatoes
to
and
potatoes
tomatoes.
and
Hmm.
tomatoes. So
Hmm.
did the doctor address that?
So I
This
talked to him
seems
about
very
it. He said,
strange.
just keep trying stuff and it should go away. So, no,
Yeah,
that he said he's seen it before, not specifically those items, but he's seen allergies that came from COVID times. Yeah,
there's
from having
some.
COVID.
I heard a deal where there's a certain tick. If you get bitten by a certain tick, you're allergic to meat, like
Okay,
like
I don't want that.
like red meat.
I'll try to stay away from that tick.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little lactose intolerant. I don't drink milk and I don't eat ice cream anymore. But I put sour cream on the potato and it doesn't really mess me up. But anyway, enough of that. I think I hear the clicks of people turning away from the podcast right now. Talk about our ailments, 54-year-old ailments, COVID ailments. It's just
Well,
very strange.
it'll be interesting to hear the alphas and the Gen Zers talk about their ailments. I mean, I don't know if alphas have ailments yet.
So what's an alpha? I don't know alpha. What's
It'd
alpha?
be the super young, the ones just, I guess, 9 and under, maybe.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Speaking
those
of which, we
folks.
need to go through that chart with people, so that we know what, when we're talking to our guests, we'll describe them and let them introduce themselves, but we'll also describe their generation each time we have a guest. So we'll go through that chart and be able to know which group you're in. A lot of people don't know which group they're in. A lot of people think millennials are just young people. Millennials are not young people anymore, really. They're
No, they're
30s.
oh yeah, they got families and careers, and that's the problem with the millennials. They're kind of taking over. My bosses at my new job are all millennials. So yeah, and honestly, I didn't really think about it. But so my boss turned well. Okay, first, so I've got a niece that got married, and just the other day, like early January, um, her husband Michael turned 33. And my boss, like 10 days after that, turned 33. So she's basically my niece's age. Um, and that really put it in perspective because, I've known my niece my whole life. Um, but I hadn't known my boss my whole life. She's this person that I know in this place, in this situation. But now she's basically, you know, my niece's friend or that age or whatever. You know what I mean? That was really kind of strange for me. And also, I was going to say, us talking about this, Amy and I were looking up all the generations. I never knew about, well, I didn't know what it was called, I guess. So my mother-in-law's generation is called the silent generation. I'd never heard that. I didn't know that. And it was like a Time magazine article, I think. We looked it up, and it said that, honestly, I can't remember what it said now. Um, Maybe because of the traumatic nature of what their parents went through during World War
Mm.
II. So that's the greatest generation. They were just sort of, uh, you know what? I'm going to pass on that right now because I can't remember what it said. But it is an interesting situation that I did not know.
Yeah, that generation, the silent generation. It's interesting because Motorola came out during that period. So you've got
Really?
yes,
Well,
yeah,
somebody wasn't silent then.
yeah, that's right. So you had the silent generation from 1925 to 1945, the baby boomers from 1946 to 1964, Generation X from 65 to 80, which is us, 1980, the millennials from 1981 to 1996, Gen Z from 1997 to 2010 or 2009, and Generation Alpha 2010 and 2025.
See, I didn't know Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha's. I've got a kid that's Alpha, so I shouldn't have a kid that young, but I do.
I think it's great that you do.
Yeah, yeah, he's a maniac for sure.
I have two kids that are Z's, right? Gen
Z's, yeah.
Z's?
I have two that are Z's. Yeah, you have they were born from 97 to 2010 or 2009.
I have one that was born in 99, days before the millennial, and we thought the hospital was going to collapse, if you remember that.
Oh yeah,
They thought the computers were going to shut down. And then 2 years after that, '01.
yeah. So two Z's.
Oh, yeah, two Z's. And what's really weird, though, so I have a brother in law that is the very last year of Boomer. And that's super weird because he's just a little bit older than me. He may be my brother's age, actually. Today's my brother's birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Danny. Which no one's gonna. They're gonna be looking at this in August, and he's gonna be like, "That's not my birthday." So anyway, we really shouldn't put a time stamp on this, I guess. But oh well, we're new at this. So I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, we're gonna get into it, and I think it's really interesting, and I think it'll bring some people in. Then again, it might not.
Yeah, and like I said, even if it's just chronicling these conversations that we've had over the years, it should be something.
Oh,
So,
I know what I was going to say. So my brother-in-law is the last year of Boomer, and I honestly don't know what a Boomer is really supposed to be. But my wife is the first year of Gen X. I think that's
mm,
right. So, but I was like, "You're not a Gen Xer," and she's arguing me. I'm a Gen Xer. To me, Gen Xers do not have a period of disco. That's pre that. And she has a disco period. Now, she's at the very beginning of it, and she listened to music probably earlier than a lot of people because her parents were into music. And that's super cool. I dig that. But to me, Gen X is 80s and the 80s movies and that music. Like, to me, a Gen X girl had a crush on Simon Le Bon in Duran Duran. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's Gen X to me.
Is Amy there?
She's right to my right. I've got the headphones on. I don't know what she's saying, but I think she's chirping, which
I,
maybe the
is
maybe the
she
mic's
chirping or
picking her
she
up.
Is she snoring or chirping?
She's not snoring. What I mean by chirping is probably disagreeing with something
Oh,
I
I
say.
know what you
I don't
mean.
know. I don't know. I call it chirping.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
No no
the good
disrespect.
thing is the headphones. The headphones make it for you, especially if she's sitting right there, because man, she might really be in your ear.
I already had the headphones. I like the headphones. I don't get to use them very often. It helps cover up my deformed look on my face. I'm trying to cover up as much as I can. For my next go around, I'm probably going to go shopping for one of those shields for welding. That's that or one of those wrestling masks. I think I'm going to get either a shield, a welding shield, or a wrestling mask. A wrestling max. A wrestling mask. Oh, I need some water. My next show. Just trying to cover it up. Oh, thank you.
Well, so what do we have coming up? Anything fun or exciting? You know what? And the thing is, I think it'll be there'll be some humor that goes along with these as well. You know, this first one's just introduction, but I think there'll be a lot of humor. I think people will laugh. It'll be we're not taking ourselves seriously. This is for fun for us, and we hope it's fun for other people too.
I mean, to me, the goal is humor, and I really am interested in, like you said, your niece is however old and got plenty to say, and she's whatever generation. Um, there's I work with a slew of young ones, so really any of those and what they may have to say about anything. I'll tell you this: I was in Oklahoma City yesterday, and we went to the Murrah Federal Building where well, that's gone, but where
Yeah,
the Oklahoma City bombing was, and there's a memorial there, and I've always wanted to go, and I've been in Oklahoma City a few times already, and I've never really gotten a chance to go. So it's like, let's go by there, and we did, and I think two of them were 5 when that happened.
yeah.
I
They
mean,
don't have any memory of it.
yeah, it's really interesting. Like I was working at a law firm downtown Dallas, and man, I remember when it had, it was like yesterday, and I know where I was. It's one of those events, kind of like the
Yeah,
O.J. Simpson chase. You know where you were. The older
yeah.
guys
Nine
have
11,
have
all that stuff.
9/11, JFK. They know where they were when JFK got shot. Well, the Murrah Federal Building to me is one of those things. I'm not trying to talk about anything downer, but yeah, two of them on the trip were 5 when that happened. So it's just blows my mind.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt. And that's kind of the perspective we're going to get, right? So, because you and I might have theories and ideology about something, and they have a completely different perspective. It's crazy the different perspectives that come out of the human brain at a different level based on your cultural background, your when you were born, whatever
Timeline's a big one.
timeline.
Uh,
Yeah,
and they know stuff that I've never heard of, and because I'm old guy, get off my yard. I, I don't care. I'm not very patient about it. So you know,
yeah. Looking forward to humor. Looking forward to a good time. Looking forward to having some guests on. Some that we maybe know well, and some that we don't know so well. And as we go, hopefully we'll meet some people that will want us guests and that will want to be guests. So
yeah, I haven't talked to anybody that was like, "Nah, it's all right, I'll pass." No, they're all about it, almost to the degree of, "Well, I want to take control of it and run it or start my own." So most people are very about it. So that's cool. That's good. But
any idea on any topics that you want to cover
I today or in the future,
in the future?
I have. Let's see. I did. Um, Talk amongst yourselves while I look this up. I did make a small list, and I texted you a few
Yeah, you mentioned something about bear
yesterday.
traps. I didn't know what that was, but
Oh,
look
a
forward to
bear
hearing about
trap's when
that.
you stick your foot in your mouth. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'll give you, for instance, like I'll, g- this happens to everybody. You see a girl and you're like, "Oh, when are you due?" "I'm not pregnant." That's a bear trap. Or, "Oh,
Yeah.
your mom would be so proud of you." "My mom died a child having me." That's a bear trap.
Yeah. I got you.
So that's a bear trap. And I had a pretty big one um, one day. I don't know if I should go there because those people might end up watching this. But you know what? Maybe we don't worry about it. We just leave the names of the innocent off. But yeah, basically sticking your foot in your mouth. Um,
Yeah. I got plenty of those.
well, that's a good one. We talked about that last night on the way back from Oklahoma. So we were bouncing some ideas around. So bear trap was one.
Sketchy
Uh,
situations.
what's the sketchiest situation you were in? Here we go. Um, okay, my list is like office politics. That's a big
Yeah.
one. We've talked about that. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Aliens. What's everybody think about aliens? I think there's a lot of alien stuff happening out there. I definitely have an opinion, but we can save that for later.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I'll say about opinions. So you and I don't have the same opinion on a lot of stuff. We don't have the same
no, we're not around each
thoughts.
other.
We are we've been good friends for a long time, but we don't we're not the kind of friends that are supporting the same position type friends. You know, I
No,
think if you whatever position you have, even if you're dead wrong, I mean, because some things are dead wrong, right? If you
flat
find
earthers.
what's that? Well,
Flat
yeah,
earthers.
but if you
I have
find
a
ten
feeling
people that
they're dead wrong.
if you find 10 people that believe the same as you do, you can convince all 10 of you, you can convince yourselves that you're right. So, there's, you and I don't have the same opinions on stuff, but that's kind of what makes it fun because, we're able to have those opinions and move on and
I have a
move
feeling
on.
aliens we will not see eye to eye on for you to have that response. But that's good. But I've got some research. I'm gonna hit you between the eyes with my alien stuff.
I'm
Well,
open to everything, by the way.
and honestly, the one podcast I listen to now, because of this is coming around, I've listened to a little bit more, not a lot. But my one podcast that I listen to, and not regularly, not a lot, I stumbled on it. I had to be on a church bus for 25 hours going skiing one time several years ago. And so my son found this and downloaded it on my phone. And that's what I listened to on the way skiing. And man, I fell in love with those dudes. It's called Alien Theorists Theorizing, and I don't know if I should give them a plug, whatever. Um, but it's a handful of Canadian guys that sit around and drink beer, and they have these case studies they bring up and they talk about it. They do their research and they know the background, but they don't take it too seriously. They're funny about it. So that's kind of why aliens are on the top of my mind. Another one is plastic surgery. So the town that I used to live in, oh my God, all the women are glugged up on plastic surgery. They just want everything done. It's just they're like addicted to it. Um, let's
I have a
see.
bear trap about plastic surgery, but we'll skip that for now.
Sales movies is one. Like I
Yeah.
love a good sales movie. I think you do too.
Glengarry Glen Ross.
Glenn Ross is the grandpappy of them. But so yeah, another one is Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn movies. So yeah, he's in a couple of my sales movies, and I
Yeah, what was the one where he was selling I don't know, gold or something? Oh man,
I,
it was
I
such a
think the
good movie.
Prime Gig. I think he's in
Prime
Prime
Gig,
Gig, and
dude, that was such a good movie.
I can't remember what they were selling, but that's just I've been in sales my whole life, and it's such a meat grinder, and everybody's always at a meat grinder. I mean, I could just relate to it, you know.
Yeah, well, they weren't selling anything. That's the thing. They were selling, a falsity, right? They were selling nothing.
Well, and then Wolf of Wall Street may just trump every
Yeah.
sales movie of all time. So that's an incredible movie. Let's see, college football, the state of college football, the state of college sports in general. That's a
Yeah.
good one. City of Dallas. That's something we have in common. But you have one way of looking at it, and I might have another way of looking
Yeah.
at it. So,
Yeah. You know what they say? Radio station says around here, the only thing good to come out of Dallas is I-30 West.
well, I didn't know that, but City of Dallas, MTV. I was a huge MTV child, so you know,
We
I
went to an
don't.
MTV concert once. It was really good. We need to talk about that for sure.
We didn't just go to an MTV concert. We and a friend of mine won a dance contest and won tickets and got a chance to perform with the Club MTV dancers. That's a really big topic. That may be like an hour and a half
Is
long.
she going to come on the show?
I have not talked to her about it, but she must.
Okay.
She must.
Yeah.
And then Club MTV. That was the last one on my. Oh no! Hold on. I do have something else. So anyway, yeah, I'll hit her up. I think I'm not sure what she does, but she has a job. I know. So we got to figure out when. I mean, it was hard
She used
enough
to be a
for.
teacher.
Yeah, she's a counselor, teacher. She's been doing whatever she's been doing. I almost feel like she's medical and teaching or something. I don't know. When I see her, she comes up here. She's got 3 sons that live in Fayetteville. How
Okay.
crazy is that? So
Yeah,
she's
that's
up
crazy.
here so often. Oh, you're writing that down? You don't have to write that down. You don't have to text me. I can text that.
No, I was texting. I was putting it on the list for myself.
Okay. So yeah, and I don't want to drop her name. She doesn't want to drop it, but yeah, I'm in contact with her. It's a girl we used to work with, and we lived in that town in Texas with, and she's really, really talk about aliens. She's sort of alien. She's kind of just out there, man. Actually, I want to talk about aliens when she's on here. We can talk about aliens, and we can talk about Club MTV when she's on here.
Okay.
And the
All
city
right.
of Dallas, maybe, since you and her both live there or outside of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have a connection to Dallas. I listen to the Ticket every morning. I listen to the
Yeah.
Musers.
I'm a fan instead of the ticket.
No, and that's fine. And if I had a chance, I would listen to that. Uh, I've dabbled in the Freak. Is that what it's called? Where Mike
Yeah.
Reiner went.
Yeah.
But when he's on, I'm busy, and it hadn't really worked out. So anyway, yeah, a lot of Dallas connections. We can talk about I-35 West. I thought I-35 went north and
I
south.
30. I 30 West. 35 is north and south.
I-30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mhm.
I was on 35 yesterday in Oklahoma. So it goes to OKC. I don't know what it does outside of that.
Yeah. 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 No doubt. Yeah. And I think we'll have a vocabulary spot where we'll talk about new words that have come out and see what our skill is in knowing what those are. If we are in tune with, maybe we'll even add some current actors and such, some current Hollywood people or current social people that maybe the kids know that are the younger generations when we have those guys on, and maybe the older generations we bring up some of theirs and see if we know them.
Yeah.
So
I,
yeah.
I think it's going to be like friends sitting around chatting it up before when you go out to eat and drink. You know what I mean? You know how you
Or,
gather? You're like, hey, let's meet at Joe Schmo's house, and you
yeah.
sit there and you gather and uh, you talk about whatever, and like, okay, let's go, let's hit the bar. So
Yeah.
I think that I, I
Maybe
I I'm looking at it like that. That's what it's going to be like.
and maybe we'll hit the bar while we're on.
Hey, but those alien theorists, man, they pop that top. They don't mess around. They sit there and get pretty jacked up during it. You should listen to it. You should try it out. Try them out.
I'll try it out.
I listened to one you threw at me.
I'll try it out. I'll try it out. I hadn't. I know you'd mentioned him, but I hadn't. I didn't really have the name of it. I'll try it out.
Well, I'm getting a vibe that you're not too jazzy about the aliens. You better get ready though.
What?
You better get ready.
Yeah. Anyway, well, hey, I think it's we probably kind of given a overview of where we're from, who we are, a little bit about our background, a little bit about what's to come. I think maybe we'll close it down here. We're running about 30 minutes. And what you have any closing comments or anything you want to say before we head out?
Well, just welcome. If you guys give us a try, hopefully this will be our very worst one. Hopefully it gets better from here on out. Not to say it's bad, but this is our first. Who's good at anything when they try it the first time?
Yeah.
And I guess the question is, well, no, we're gonna get some in the can before we throw it out there. So when it comes time, we'll figure out if we want to just toss it out and see who lands, or are we going to actively market it and well, you don't have social media, but on my social media, or push it at work or whatever. I'm good with either way.
Yeah, it's
If
funny because I did give up social media in 2019, which it's kind of I guess crazy in today's world.
Well, that's fine. I don't have an opinion. But maybe that's a topic: social media.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. I'll add it to the list.
That's
All
right.
right. Well, hey, yeah, I don't. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be
Me too.
fun. I think the guests will be fun. I think uh, if you've if you've uh, if you've had these experiences, you'll certainly relate. I think these experiences will be relatable. So yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for doing this with me. I think it's going to be a good ride.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. High five. We just got to figure out. Yeah, don't leave me hanging. We gotta just figure out when we can do it, and we'll do it. And who knows? Maybe we retire and have a deal where who knows? Just we'll do it from the beach.
Man, I would love that. I'm looking forward to warmer weather. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty rough out there. There's still snow on the ground here from last Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, hey, signing off. Have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.